In this rare glimpse, Prince Ernest Leopold of Leiningen, Queen Victoria's half-brother, shares a quiet childhood moment. A loyal dog joins the scene, blurring the line between royalty and innocence. In the laughter of children, history pauses, yet the dog's gaze holds deeper stories. At Balmoral in 1896, Queen Victoria welcomed her grandson-in-law, Tsar Nicholas II of Russia. Behind the stately calm, history brewed darker tides. Just 2 decades later, the Tsar, his wife, and their children would face a tragic fate. Yet here, the shadows remain unseen. Before the name Custer was etched in tragedy at Little Bighorn, he posed with a loyal dog at his side. The animal's steady gaze softens the portrait of a man destined for infamy, reminding us that even those bound for violent ends once shared quiet bonds of trust. On May 30th, 1944, a young Princess Elizabeth stood at Windsor Castle with her beloved corgi, Susan. Days before D-Day, while the world braced for war, here was a moment of innocence, royalty, and dog bound in trust. Yet this bond would outlast empires and echo through a reign. In 1957, Laika, a stray from Moscow's streets, was sealed inside Sputnik 2, destined to be the first creature to orbit Earth. Her calm gaze hides the weight of history, triumph and sacrifice entwined. As the capsule closed, humanity's reach expanded. But at what cost? In 1961, Ham the chimpanzee returned from the edge of space, his tiny suit bearing scorch marks of re-entry. As doctors examined him, he offered a grin, half fear, half triumph. Before man took that leap, it was Ham who proved survival beyond Earth was possible. On March 3, 1978, Koko the Gorilla sat with trainer Penny Patterson, shaping history with her hands. Through sign language, Koko bridged the silence between species, revealing thought, humor, even grief. In her gaze lies a question: how much of us lives within them? After a grueling campaign, Ronald Reagan found solace at Wexford, Northern Virginia, walking hand in hand with Nancy, while their dog frolicked nearby. In this quiet domestic scene, the future president's humanity shines, reminding us that even history makers need moments of simple joy. On December 30th, 2005, Dawn Brancheau performed with grace at SeaWorld, her bond with the killer whale evident in every movement. 5 years later, tragedy struck, reminding the world of the razor-thin line between trust and danger in the lives of those who work closest with nature's giants. In 1988, Sigourney Weaver embodied Dian Fossey, venturing into Rwanda's misty mountains to study gorillas. Every cautious step and lingering gaze captured the fragile bond between human and wild. Through film, the silent plight of these giants was given a voice the world could not ignore. Amid the bustle of a presidential transition, Bill Clinton shared a joyful reunion with Socks, the first cat. In that brief, tender moment, politics paused. The cat's familiar purrs and soft fur bridged the gap between public duty and private affection. A small solace in change. On December 26, 2005, President George W. Bush stepped off Air Force One in Waco, cradling Barney, while Laura Bush held Miss Beasley. Amid the pomp of office, a fleeting domestic scene emerges. Leaders and their dogs returning to quiet ranch life as the new year approached. In a rare, light-hearted moment, Sir Winston Churchill feeds a kangaroo, bridging worlds of politics and nature. The stoic statesman's careful hand meets the marsupial's curious gaze, revealing a gentler side often hidden behind history's storms. On May 24, 1952, Winston Churchill paused at Liverpool Street Station to pet a passing cat. Amid the weight of post-war Britain, this fleeting gesture humanizes a towering statesman, reminding us that even leaders find quiet comfort in the simplest of connections. Through wind-driven rain, the French army and citizens pressed toward the Loire River, their animals trudging beside them. Hooves and paws sank into mud, sharing the burden of survival. In every soaked coat and weary gaze lies the quiet heroism of those caught in history's storm. In 1820 Madrid, the Constitution was proclaimed amid the fervor of the liberal triennium. Horses and dogs wove through the crowds, silent witnesses to a nation's fragile promise of freedom. Even in print, their presence reminds us that history's pulse beats through both humans and animals. A horse-drawn streetcar departs City Hall, packed with eager passengers bound for Barnum's Circus, the greatest show on Earth. Horses strain beneath the load, unaware of the spectacle awaiting, their labor quietly powering the thrill and wonder of a bygone era of entertainment. Two elephants parade across a vintage baking powder advertisement, their immense forms lending weight to a humble kitchen product. Beyond the marketing, these gentle giants hint at the era's fascination with exotic animals, whose majesty was both celebrated and commodified for human delight. In 19th-century depictions, chariots thunder around the Circus Maximus, horses' hooves striking dust as crowds roar. Though centuries had passed since ancient Rome's glory, the power, speed, and spirit of these animals carried the thrill of history itself across every turn of the track. A 19th-century engraving captures a bareback rider soaring atop a circus horse, every muscle taut with trust and precision. The horse's leap and the rider's poise reveal a silent partnership, where danger and artistry intertwine, thrilling audiences while celebrating animal-human harmony. In 1800, Antonio Franconi stands atop a galloping horse at Paris's Cirque Olympique, captured in Carl Vernet's drawing. Every stride of the horse mirrors the daring of the acrobat above, a fleeting moment where trust, balance, and courage converge in the heart of spectacle. A vintage advertisement beckons audiences to Adam Forepaw's Elephant Show, promising awe and wonder. The elephants, portrayed larger than life, hint at the era's fascination with exotic giants, whose strength and majesty were harnessed to dazzle and entertain human crowds. A woman rides bareback under the circus spotlight, poised atop a galloping horse. Every movement of the animal mirrors her balance and courage, a silent dialogue of trust. In this fleeting performance, danger and grace entwine, leaving audiences breathless at the human-animal bond. At Holborn Circus, London's dustmen labor through the streets, their horses straining under carts of refuse. These animals, often overlooked, carried the weight of a city's daily life. Amid soot and bustle, their endurance tells a quiet story of service and survival in Victorian London. Soldiers prepare dogs for military maneuvers, one carefully fastening a muzzle. These animals, trained for obedience and courage, stood at the intersection of loyalty and duty. In their alert eyes, we glimpse both the burden and honor of serving in human conflicts. Amid tense lines, African American soldiers face aggressive dogs sent to subdue unrest. The snarling animals and resolute troops create a scene of fear and discipline intertwined. History recalls not just human courage, but the brutal ways animals were wielded in conflict. A finely dressed dog poses for the camera, adorned as if attending high society itself. Beyond the whimsy, the portrait reflects an era fascinated by anthropomorphism, where animals became mirrors of human vanity, playfulness, and companionship in the lens of history. Lucky Luciano strides past the King Victor Emmanuel monuments, the home of the unknown soldier looming behind him. Though no animals share the frame, history's silent witnesses, pigeons and city dogs, pad alongside, observing the convergence of power, notoriety, and memory in Rome's streets. In 1880, a British soldier in Karachi stands with his dogs, captured on a magic lantern slide. Amid the sweep of the British Raj, these loyal animals offered companionship and protection, quietly bearing witness to colonial life, its routines, and the distant weight of empire. During World War II, a pilot poses with his steadfast British bulldog aboard his plane. Amid the roar of engines and the shadow of conflict, the dog's presence offers comfort and courage, a small emblem of loyalty and normalcy in the chaos of war. A German officer stands in the muddy trenches, his dog by his side, eyes alert amidst the devastation of war. In the midst of barbed wire and gunfire, the animal's silent loyalty contrasts with the chaos, reminding us of companionship even in humanity's darkest hours. During the Second Boer War, Transvaal combatants kneel in evening prayer, a loyal dog close by. In the quiet of conflict, the animal's presence offers comfort and normalcy, a silent witness to faith, fear, and the human need for companionship amid war's relentless tension. On June 10, 1945, Hyde Park witnessed the stand-down of civil defense forces. Princess Elizabeth and the Queen admired Peter, a heroic canine from the rescue squads. In the relief of war's end, the dog's calm presence captured both gratitude and the quiet bravery of those who served. Marching through Texas, a U.S. infantry column is led not only by soldiers, but by a spirited mascot dog at its head. The animal's eager steps mirror the troops' discipline, a symbol of morale and companionship as history's machinery of war presses onward. The Lafayette Escadrille, American aviators serving France in World War I, pose with their lion cub mascot and loyal Alsatian. Amid the rigors of war, these animals offered camaraderie and a touch of home, their presence a reminder of loyalty, courage, and the lighter side of battle. A Coast Guard mascot dog rides perched inside a tuba, a whimsical yet spirited presence in the ranks. Amid drills and duty, the animal brings levity and morale, proving that even in disciplined service, joy and companionship find their place in history's smallest moments. RAF fighter pilots from the West Indies stand ready, their loyal mascots nearby offering silent support. Amid the roar of engines and the shadow of war, these animals witnessed courage firsthand, a steadfast presence in the skies and on the ground during World War II. In November 1917, Doreen, the Irish Guards wolfhound mascot, stood solemnly at a memorial service, guarding a young soldier. The giant dog's presence offered comfort and dignity, embodying loyalty and the silent courage of animals amid the grief of war. On December 11, 1940, Airless Morris, an American ambulance driver in London, cradled the unit's mascot, a duck named America. Amid the Blitz, this small, feathered companion offered a touch of home and hope, a gentle reminder of life and comfort amidst the chaos of war. On May 22, 1946, Lewis, a long-haired Welsh mountain goat, prepared for parade at RAF Halton, mascot to 2 apprentice bands. Washed and groomed, with gilded horns and hooves, he embodied pride and tradition, a whimsical yet honored symbol of camaraderie in post-war RAF life. On February 17, 1918, Nancy, a Springbok mascot of the 4th South African Regiment, stood amid the devastation of Delville Wood. Even in the chaos of World War I, her presence brought solace and a touch of home, reminding soldiers of resilience, loyalty, and life beyond the battlefield. On November 19, 1956, during the Suez Crisis, Gunner William Graham stood near the front with Nasser, a camel-turned-unofficial mascot of his paratroop artillery unit. Amid tension and conflict, the animal's calm presence offered companionship and a touch of levity on a perilous battlefield. On November 19, 1956, during the Suez Crisis, Gunner William Graham rode Nasser, the paratroop artillery unit's unofficial camel mascot, near the front lines at El Cap. Amid the tension of conflict, the camel offered a rare moment of companionship and levity in the harsh desert battlefield. In 1875, Old Abe, the famed Wisconsin war eagle, perches proudly, immortalized by Henry Hamilton Bennett. More than a symbol, he soared with Union troops, carrying morale into battle. In his fierce gaze, the spirit of courage and loyalty takes flight across history. In May 1968, a staff sergeant of the 101st Airborne Division playfully warns Charlie, the unit's mascot, against any monkey business in Vietnam. Amid the intensity of war, this light-hearted exchange reveals the small comforts and bonds soldiers shared with animals far from home. During World War II in England, Jim, a wild rook turned mascot of a West Country anti-aircraft battery, perches confidently on a gun. For 6 months, this unlikely companion observed drills and duty, a feathered witness to the tension and camaraderie of life on the home front. At an 8th Armed Forces Bomber Command Station in England, World War II, Scrappy the puppy and Joe the monkey brought levity to the crews of the Flying Fortress Honey Chili. Frisky companions amid war's tension, they reminded airmen of home, mischief, and the bonds that carried them through missions. In July 1942, Jackie the jackdaw perched proudly atop his master's hat, a small yet spirited presence during turbulent times. This clever animal offered companionship and amusement, a reminder that even amid uncertainty, humans and their loyal creatures found moments of lightness and joy. In 1896, The drum major of the 1st Battalion, the Welsh Regiment, posed alongside their goat mascot. Proud and disciplined, the animal marched in step, a symbol of tradition and esprit de corps, showing how even in military precision, animals played a celebrated and spirited role. A 1942 souvenir postcard from Florida's colorful attractions captures playful animals amid sun-soaked fun. From exotic birds to circus spectacles, these creatures offered wonder and delight, reminding visitors that even in wartime, moments of joy and curiosity endured in everyday life. In 1907, Germany, Karl Hagenbeck, famed merchant of wild animals, stands with his sons Lorenz and Heinrich beside a Bengal tiger. This portrait captures both fascination and audacity, reflecting an era when humans sought to master and display nature's raw power for wonder and enterprise. In the 1930s, the bear compound at Stuttgart's Wilhelma Zoological Gardens housed massive lumbering bears behind wrought barriers. Visitors marveled at their strength and presence, a glimpse into an era when exotic animals were both spectacle and subject of scientific curiosity. In 1930s, Stuttgart, 2 women gently feed a camel at Wilhelma Zoological Gardens. The scene captures a quiet moment of connection, as humans and animal meet in trust and curiosity, offering a glimpse of everyday care amid the exotic spectacle of the zoological world. In 1900, inside a bustling American circus tent, costumed acrobats balance atop galloping horses, thrilling spectators. The animal's strength and precision underpin every daring feat, showcasing a partnership where trust, skill, and spectacle converge in a moment frozen in time. Under the circus spotlight, elephants perform astonishing tricks, lifting, spinning, and balancing with surprising grace. Their massive forms and gentle eyes remind audiences that every spectacle is built on trust, training, and the remarkable intelligence of these majestic animals. In The Lion Queen, a woman stands fearless among lions, tigers, and leopards, captured in a striking lithograph. Her poise and command highlight the daring bond between human and predator, where trust and skill transform potential danger into awe-inspiring spectacle. An undated French circus captures a juggler atop a galloping horse, every toss and catch synchronized with the animal's stride. This daring display reveals the silent dialogue of trust and timing between human and horse, thrilling audiences with a blend of skill and spectacle. A remarkable scene shows an elephant seemingly signing a movie contract, a blend of whimsy and spectacle. Beyond the humor lies the era's fascination with animals in entertainment, where majestic creatures were thrust into the spotlight, bridging curiosity, performance, and human ambition. In 1915 in the United States, 3 circus performers practiced their balancing acts atop galloping horses. Every careful step and poised posture reflects intense training and trust, highlighting the delicate partnership between human agility and the animal's strength in early circus spectacle.